My name's Louise Morrison and I come from the Gold Coast. I'm going to share my story about Falun Gong. Alternative therapies has been my life, and I became a natural therapist and taught yoga. When I came across Falun Dafa, I had a brochure in the mailbox, and I took it out and I went to the veranda and I sat down and I read the front of the brochure and the back of the brochure. And I said to my husband, this is what I've been looking for all my life. Then I decided to contact the person on the back of the brochure and ask them to send me the video and the cassette and the books on Falun Gong, and I started teaching myself at home and started to realise that it was something really special and went beyond what I'd already been learning. I was in my mid-30s when I started practicing Falun Gong, and I had teenage children, and I found that the principles of the practice helped me understand how to cope with them and the way they were behaving, and it also showed them good things that they needed to remember about being truthful and having compassion and tolerance themselves. And it helped me deal with the stress in those times, which is really great. And they responded very well, and I actually had times where they helped me with the flyers and lotus flowers and things when I was sharing Falun Gong with other people. As a baby, I was basically born sick, so I never understood why I was so sick. And I had life-threatening situations as a child, and I had a mother that sat by my side very many times in a life and death situation. So for me, I find that my story is different to other people because most people have never experienced the illness that I've had in my lifetime at such a young age, and that is why my family now sees such a difference, because I was so ill. I missed out on school. I was in hospital 6 months out of every year until I went to high school. I got picked on at school because of being sick and being away. I never fitted in with anyone. I was always different, and so that part of my life was very, very traumatic, and it's taken a long time to understand that my journey in this life was for a reason, and that I understand now why, because I understand that Falun Gong was what I needed to find to help me become really, really well. And in actual fact, I believe I'm more well than most people at my age, and I feel like I've got younger. So yeah, mine's a very different story to other people who are blessed with healthy lifestyles until they get older, and then they go, oh, well, I'm sick, I better go and get myself fixed. Mine's been a really big journey to get well, and that's also on a spiritual level as well, because I always knew I was different and I never fitted in with the kids at school. I always sat on the outside, and I always used to think, what's wrong with me? There's something wrong with me. And then as I've grown and I've tried different therapies and I've been into the new age and experimented with different things, none of them sat with me. I tried so much. I spent so much money on natural therapies and books that sat in my bookshelf, and I would experiment with all of them, but nothing really worked. And so it came to the point when I came across Falun Gong that I knew that this was my answer, and I've proven it now over these last 17 years that it has really been what's helped me be the person I am, both internally, also spiritually, and also with my health. Do my best to live with truthfulness and compassion and tolerance, and I'm mindful of how I conduct myself. I like to set a really good example with my work colleagues, my family and friends, so that they can see that I'm a good person, and I set a good example for them in the hope that one day they may also consider looking at Falun Gong to help improve their life, both on a physical and a spiritual level.